The government was clear. Organisations named in the Royal Commission into Institutional Responses to Child Abuse had until yesterday to sign up to the National Redress Scheme. Those that failed were told they could risk their charitable status and government funding would cease.
Anne Ruston and I are not kidding. We expect people to sign up, and if you don't want to sign up, then I won't be signing any cheques.
Jehovah's Witness survivors weren't surprised, but they were gutted. They're traumatised. They're upset.
As of yesterday, 380 organisations had either signed up or signalled their intention to sign up, but 6 groups had not. The Australian Air League, Boys Brigade New South Wales, Fairbridge Society, Lakes Entrance Pony Club, Pinja Communications and the Jehovah's Witnesses. And today they found themselves named and shamed.
These organisations deny the 55 survivors who have applications against these institutions the redress that they deserve.
In a statement, the Jehovah's Witnesses told us they have responded and will continue to respond directly to individual claims for redress in a caring, fair and principled manner.
What they actually do is they silence them through extreme shunning. And what that means is they cut them off from their family, from their friends. If they're working with the Jehovah's Witness, they may even lose their job.
But many want the government to go even further.
This scheme is designed and run to basically minimise the financial harm to institutions, at the same time as further punishing and re-traumatising the victims. And it's just not good enough.
Senator Anne Ruston is the Minister for Families and Social Services and she joins us now. Minister, will the Jehovah's Witnesses and the other organisations now lose their charitable status?
Well, certainly it's something that we are prepared to consider and we're in the process of working through all of the technical details. It's not quite as simple as it would seem on the surface, but it is something that we are very, very keen to pursue. Today I actually did announce that that any of these organisations will no longer be eligible for Commonwealth government funding going forward. And we're certainly looking at ways that we can use their favourable taxation status to further draw to their attention the error of their ways in not joining the redress scheme.
So there are 6 organisations that are refusing to sign on, at least at this point. That corresponds to 55 applications which are now in limbo. What happens to those people who are making those applications?
Well, one of the really great pieces of news I can actually advise your show tonight is that one of those 6 organisations has actually decided today to reverse their decision and they're now intending to join the scheme, which is great news, and hopefully the other 5 organisations will do similarly and we'll be able to get the immediate redress to the people
Can I just hold you there? Which organisation is that, by the way, just so we're clear?
Australian Air League has made the decision today to join the scheme, which is great news. But equally, there are still 5 other organisations that haven't agreed to join, and as you rightly point out, there are applications against those organisations, and that means they're survivors who today would have been a very dark day for those survivors. So next week I'll be meeting with the state and territory ministers who are make up the redress board, and I will be discussing with them how we can make sure that we make good for these people who find themselves in this situation today.
Minister, there are people who say the scheme itself is insufficient. Do you have any plans to improve it?
Well, look, certainly this has been a very difficult scheme to stand up. I don't think anybody's shying away from that. It's been very complex. It was voluntary. Equally, some of the applications that we received were particularly complex. In fact, 75% of the applications we've received have named more than one institution in those applications. But part of the process of getting to this 2-year stage and naming people today is also the undertaking of a review. And we want to have a look at what's working and what's not working, have a look at what we can improve on, and that will be a matter for discussion with the redress board as soon as we're able to receive that 2-year review. We're always open to progressive and improvements to the scheme.
Minister Ruston, thanks for your time.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.